Sal Petrocelli ran a tire and repair shop in Hackensack, New Jersey for 30 years. The first time I watched him diagnose a misfiring 1963 Chevrolet 327 small block. That is a small block Chevy, same family as the 350 that went into everything from Camaros to pickup trucks. He spent 45 seconds and used no tools at all. Just a length of vacuum hose held to his ear, moving slowly around the carburetor base and the intake manifold gasket line. Vacuum leak, right side of the manifold, fixed with a $2 hose clamp. The dealer had quoted the owner $380 for a carburetor rebuild. Sal learned that test from his uncle, who learned it from the men who built the original Ford flathead V8s in the 1930s. That chain of hands-on knowledge, specific, practical, costs almost nothing knowledge about small block engines, carburetor diagnosis, valve clearance, ignition timing, ran from the first American engine shops all the way to Sal's shop in New Jersey, and through Sal to me. My name is Earl Kowalski. I spent 27 years on the assembly line at Buick City in Flint, Michigan, and another 17 running my own shop. I have rebuilt more small block Chevrolets, Ford 302s, and Chrysler LA 318s than I can count. And I'm going to give you 12 of the repairs Sal taught me, 12 V8 engine fixes that every American mechanic knew before 1980, that the dealer service network has systematically priced out of reach. Every one costs less than $15 in parts. Every one of them your dealer charges $200 to $500 to perform. I am going to explain briefly why this knowledge almost vanished, because it did not happen by accident. In 1958, if you brought your Chevrolet to a dealership with an engine problem, the service manager would talk to you like a man talking to another man. He would tell you what was wrong, what it would cost, and in most cases he would also tell you, if it was something small, that you could do it yourself if you wanted to. There was no advantage in mystifying the repair. The customer would be back. The relationship was long-term. By the 1980s, two things had changed. First, the cars had become more complicated, not because the engineering required it, but because complexity was a business strategy. A car that requires a dealer's scan tool, a Tech 2, an OBD reader, a proprietary diagnostic computer. To read a fault code is a car that has to come back to the dealer. Second, the warranty and liability structure had been redesigned so that any repair done outside a certified shop potentially voided your coverage. You were not just uninformed, you were legally discouraged from knowing, and the knowledge itself, the index card knowledge, the Sal Petrocelli knowledge, had no institutional home anymore. It was not taught in trade schools. It was not in the service manuals that now described procedures requiring tools that cost $4,000. It lived only in the men who had learned it, and when those men retired, it largely went with them. Here are 12 things they knew. The first is the vacuum leak test. Any engine that is running rough, idling unsteadily, or hesitating on acceleration is probably pulling in air somewhere it is not supposed to. Before you pay for a diagnostic, take a length of fuel hose, 12 inches, cost nothing, you probably have a piece in a drawer, and hold one end to your ear. Move the other end slowly around every vacuum hose junction, the carburetor base, the intake manifold gasket line. While you are doing this, check the PCV valve hose as well. The positive crankcase ventilation valve is one of the most overlooked vacuum leak points on any American V8, and a cracked or collapsed PCV hose will cause the same rough, idle symptoms. When you hear the sound change, a hiss, a whistle, a change in pitch, you have found your leak. Cost, the 5 minutes of your time. Fix, usually a hose that costs $2. The second is the feeler gauge valve check. Any engine with mechanical lifters, every American V8 built before 1985 had them, needs its valve clearance checked once a year. A feeler gauge set costs $3. The procedure takes 45 minutes the first time, 20 the second time. An engine running on tight or loose valves is burning fuel inefficiently, wearing the valve seats, and in the worst cases, burning the valves themselves. A burned valve is a machine shop repair. Checking the clearance is a garage repair. Your dealer does not want you to know the difference. The third is the upper cylinder lubricant treatment. Every 6 months, one bottle, 12 ounces, $4 at any counter that still sells the old products, into the gas tank before you fill up. This lubricates the valve stems from the top, reduces carbon buildup on the intake face of the valve, and prevents the sticking that eventually leads to burned valves and rough running. Sal Petrocelli treated every flat tappet engine in his shop this way. He told me once that in 30 years he had never seen burned valves on an engine that had been consistently treated. I have never seen it either. The fourth is the points and condenser service. If you are running a pre-1975 American V8 with a points-type ignition, the points wear slowly until the dwell angle drifts out of spec and the engine starts missing and losing power and fuel economy. A new points and condenser set costs $7 or $8. While you are in there, replace the distributor cap and rotor. Together they run another $4 to $6, and they are part of the same service. Check the ignition coil terminals for corrosion while the cap is off. A weak ignition coil will mimic a points problem and is a $10 part at any auto supply. The installation takes 30 minutes with a feeler gauge, a dwell meter, and a timing light. A dealer will tell you the old ignition system is worn out and sell you a conversion to electronic ignition for $250. Sometimes that is warranted. 9 times out of 10, the engine runs perfectly on fresh points, a new cap and rotor, and a cleaned coil connection. The fifth is the carburetor float check. The carburetor float controls fuel level in the bowl. When it sags or fills with fuel, the engine runs rich. You smell fuel, the plugs blacken, fuel economy drops. Pull the carburetor top, look at the float, shake it. If you hear liquid inside, it has failed. A replacement float costs $4 to $9. A rebuild kit for most common American carburetors, a Holley, a Rochester Quadra J, a Carter, runs between $12 and $25. When you have the carburetor top off, check the choke plate and choke pull-off as well. A sticking carburetor choke causes hard starting and rich running that is often misdiagnosed as a float or fuel pump problem. A dealership will tell you the carburetor needs to be replaced. The float needs to be replaced. The sixth is the compression test. Before you spend a single dollar diagnosing an engine problem, do a compression test. A compression gauge costs $12 to borrow from any parts counter. You pull all the spark plugs, connect the gauge to each cylinder in turn, crank the engine. A healthy engine reads 140 to 180 pounds per square inch per cylinder, all even within 10% of each other. A low cylinder tells you rings or valves. Cylinders that read the same but low tell you timing or carburation. If you want to go one step further, a mechanical oil pressure gauge, $5 at any swap meet, run alongside the compression test, gives you a complete picture of the engine's internal health in under 30 minutes. This test takes 20 minutes and tells you more than an hour of dealer diagnostics. Sal taught me this before he taught me anything else. He called it the $10 doctor. The seventh is the timing advance check. A timing light costs $15 used, $30 new. Your engine's distributor can be turned to advance or retard the ignition timing. Most American V8s from the 60s and 70s were originally set at 4 to 8 degrees before top dead center. That mark on the harmonic balancer, the weighted damper at the front of the crankshaft, is what you line up with the pointer on the timing cover. After decades of adjustment and drift, the timing is often wrong. 5 degrees off timing costs you 5 to 8% fuel economy and noticeably slows throttle response. When you are checking the base timing, also check the vacuum advance, the small canister on the side of the distributor connected by a rubber hose to the intake manifold. A vacuum advance that has failed or disconnected will cost you another 3 to 5% fuel economy at cruise. Check the mechanical advance as well by snapping the throttle with the timing light watching the balancer. The timing mark should jump forward cleanly. Connecting the timing light, checking the mark, and turning the distributor to correct it takes 15 minutes. A shop charges $60 to $90 for this service. The eighth is the fan belt two-finger rule. A fan belt that is too loose slips and squeals and eventually fails. One that is too tight puts load on the water pump and alternator bearings. The correct tension on a standard V-belt, not a serpentine, a V-belt, is 3/4 of an inch of deflection at the midpoint of the longest run. Press it with 2 fingers firmly. If it deflects less than half an inch or more than an inch, loosen the alternator bolt and move it. A slipping fan belt will eventually leave you on the side of a highway. It will not leave you there if you check it every 6 months. The ninth is the battery hydrometer test. A battery that has 1 weak cell tests fine on a load tester. It passes the basic test, but fails in cold weather or under high draw. A battery hydrometer costs $5 and tells you the specific gravity of the electrolyte in each cell. If one cell reads more than 50 points lower than the others, the battery will fail within months. You can plan for it instead of being caught by it. The dealer will sell you a new battery for $120. You can buy the same battery for $65 at a parts counter if you know it is coming. The 10th is the radiator flush. The corrosion inhibitors in coolant deplete. After 2 years, they stop protecting the aluminum and iron in the cooling system. Dealerships charge $120 to $180 for a cooling system flush. You can do it with 6 gallons of distilled water, $1.50 per gallon, 2 quarts of fresh coolant for $10, and 30 minutes. Drain the old coolant. Flush with distilled water. Refill with the correct mixture. The chemistry is the same. The markup is what you are paying to avoid knowing how to do it. The 11th is valve stem seal replacement. When an engine starts burning oil, blue smoke on startup, oil fouling the spark plugs. Most shops tell you the engine needs rings or a rebuild. 9 times in 10, the problem is valve stem seals. These are small rubber seals about the size of a thimble that sit at the top of each valve guide. On many American engines, every small block Chevy, the Ford Windsor family, the Chrysler LA 318, you can replace the valve stem seals with the engine in the car and without pulling the head by pressurizing the cylinder with shop air through the spark plug hole to hold the valves up. A seal kit for a small block Chevy runs $12 to $15. The job takes 3 hours if you have done it once before. A shop quotes it as a head-off rebuild and charges $1,200 to $1,800. The 12th is reading the spark plugs. A spark plug pulled from a running engine tells you everything the engine is doing internally. Tan or light gray means the mixture and heat range are correct. Black and sooty means rich, too much fuel. White or blistered means lean, not enough fuel, or the engine is running too hot. Oil fouled means the rings or valve seals are passing oil. The major plug manufacturers, AC Delco, Champion, Autolite, NGK, all publish reading charts that are free and have been free for 60 years. Reading your plugs costs nothing. It tells you what is wrong before it becomes expensive. Sal Petrocelli used to say that a man who could read a spark plug could diagnose 90% of engine problems without spending a dollar. He was right. None of these 12 things appear in the service information a dealer gives you. None of them are mentioned in the owner's manual. They are not there because they represent work you can do yourself, work that removes you from the service department revenue cycle. They are not there for the same reason that the straightforward carburetor rebuild kit disappeared from the parts counter and the reason the timing light migrated from a $15 tool to an expensive scan tool accessory, and the reason that every modern service advisory ends with "See your dealer." The dealer network made a calculation. The calculation was that if the knowledge of these repairs lived only in their shops and not in the hands of the people who owned the cars, then those people would have no choice but to return. They were correct. And for 40 years, that calculation has extracted an enormous amount of money from people who could have spent an afternoon in their own driveways and kept it. My father taught me the first three of these things before I was 14 years old. His foreman at River Rouge had taught him. The chain of that knowledge runs back to the first generation of men who built American cars and fixed them themselves in their own shops without asking permission from anyone. I am passing it to you now. The 12 repairs I just described, done correctly and on schedule, will extend the life of any American V8 engine by 50 to 100,000 miles. They cost in total somewhere between $30 and $80 per year. The average American spends over $1,000 per year on vehicle maintenance and repairs. Most of that $1,000 is for work that belongs in this list. I built these cars and I fixed them for 44 years. What I just told you is what they don't want you to know. If you want more of this, more small block Chevy rebuilds, carburetor tuning, classic V8 maintenance, and the knowledge that was handed down and then quietly taken away, subscribe and stay close. I have 44 years of it, and I am not finished passing it on.